Greetings! Welcome back to Pink Oddbird. Today what I'm here with is a little series of 3 books that I'm calling Guess How Much I Love You, because if you remember a few videos back, I did a tutorial on how you can make these book covers out of the game board pieces. If you missed that video, don't worry, I'll link it down in the description box below. So today I'm just here with the flip through of these journals, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright, so all of these journals measure 9 by 6 and the spines are 2 inches. And the signatures are all sewn in. There's 5 signatures, so there's about 180 or so pages in these books. The spine is reinforced with duct tape on the outside and muslin and Tyvek on the inside, so they are sturdy. I opted to use the game board pieces because they have beautiful images on them from the actual game pieces that came with this game. And the objective behind these books is to make them kind of like, more like Smashbooks, more like old school scrapbooks, sort of something like that. Not the typical junk journals that we have. These books are meant for people who like to journal in their books, like daily or however often you like to journal, add your photos, do journaling, add other things, sentiments, movie tickets, things like that. That's what these books are made for. So as you can see, there is plenty of space in these books. I've made sure to keep plenty of room. So there are a variety of different pages in here. I will do a quick flip through so you guys can take a look on the inside, and I'll just do one because the other 2 are pretty much the same. Some of the papers might differ slightly, so let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so here we go. We're just going to take a look at this one. Again, the cover is a heavy chipboard that is made out of the game pieces, and so let's go ahead and open it up. So again, on the inside, as I mentioned, they are reinforced with the fabric and the Tyvek. And I have left the inside covers plain in case maybe you want to add a picture there, maybe you don't, maybe you want to do some art there. It's up to you, the choice is yours. These books are all about customization. So they do lay completely flat. You can't see that in this video, but they are laying completely flat. I have used the Vintage Bunnies digital images from Mrs. Cog's Etsy shop, so I will link that down below as well. But I chose that because, as you can see, there are tons of bunnies here on the covers, so I wanted to incorporate that a little bit on the inside. There isn't very much ephemera in these books because, like I said, it is meant for you to fill up. There is some sewing. There are 10 images in each of these books of the vintage bunnies, and there are some fabric pockets and a few other things. So let's go ahead and look. So like I said, there's just a variety of a lot of different kinds of papers that you can collage over, gesso over, however it is that you want to use your journal. Some of the pages are coffee stained, some are not. There are some old book pages in here as well, and this one you can flip it up. It's a little fabric flip here, some punching. I'm just going pretty fast because there's no real theme to this, like I said, so it's really basically up to you and how you want to use this book. I thought these were really fun. The reason why I even actually got into junk journals in the first place was because of Smashbooks, and this totally reminds me of sort of like a Smashbook, I guess, because when I started out, I was trying to find items that I was trying to find a way that I could, there's pockets in some of these pages. The centers of the signatures, I left some of them pretty plain so that you can add big collages or whatever you want. It's because I had a lot of stuff that I had been saving for a really long time, and I wanted to find a neat way to store them. And so I did so much research for almost like a year on different things, and I just started learning all kinds of things. And the first thing that I ever completed was a Smashbook. So that is really what the idea was kind of behind this, was just to give you a place to come and stuff all of those goodies and things that you have. So as you can see, I've just loaded it up with a lot of different kinds of papers, some pockets, things like that. Book pages. And the book pages are neat because you can leave them how they are. You can read them, cover over them, gesso over them, paint over them, whatever it is you like to do. Some decorative stitching in some places. So here we go on to the next signature. As you can see, some more little scrap pieces in here, ledger pieces, some vintage sunset gardening pages. These books are just super fun. Some of these book pages are really, really old. There's a couple in here from the 1800s, and then there's one here from there's I think a couple from the early 1900s, like 1907, and then I think there's a 1945 book page in here as well. So lots of variety. All right, so that's basically it. As you can see, tons of different kinds of papers. This is the last signature. These are the fabric pockets that I'm telling you about. You can stuff things in those. There are some flip outs, poetry pages. This is the final signature. And I do have one more thing that I would like to show you, because I also made kits to coincide with these books. There's one of those vintage book pages. And these kits are also going to be available. We'll be showing you that as well. There are 3 kits, there are 3 books, but if you miss out on buying one of these little sets, I will be able to potentially make a few more of these little kit bundles. So if you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments, and I can get some more of those made up and have those in my shop as well. These images are so pretty. I left them plain, again, because I personally like to decorate them when I'm going through my journals. Some map pages, lots of writing space if that's all you really want to do. And there's my stamp. So that is the gist of these books. They are all pretty much mostly similar. There may be a few variations in pages, fabrics, obviously page order, but for the most part, they're all going to be the same. So I'll show you this one really quick. This is the 3rd one. And again, as you saw, there's tons of space to fill these up. So that is the 3. So let's move on to the kits. So my idea behind making the kits that go with these journals is that you can use what's here to actually fill the book up as you work through it, if you want to. Of course, all of this stuff can be used in other places, but this is just the way that the vision that I had for these is, well, maybe you're working through it and you want to pick at this pile and stuff some stuff in there. So that's the reasoning behind it. So let's take a look at what's here. So the first thing I have here is I have this, it's a little vintage mauve lace, kind of like a really, really dusty mauve. There's this brown and beige lace here. And then this bottom lace is it's a vintage lace. And this one came from a lady who made doll dresses. So out of these 3 laces, there are 1 yard of each. So there's a total of 3 yards of lace here. There's also an eyelash trim set, I guess. And there's 3 different kinds of eyelash trim. There's like a beige, there's like a colorful one, and then kind of like browns and greens, sort of like that. And there are 2 yards of each of these eyelash trims, so there's a total of 6 yards of eyelash trim here. I have made a little variety of different colors and sizes, all different kinds of ruffles. There are a total of about, I think there's 10, but there might be 11 in each kit. So there's just a big variety. You can glue these onto the pages at the top or the sides. You can also add these onto tags or really wherever you want to, but there's a total of 10 to 11 of those fabric ruffles in each of the kits. There are 2 of the game pieces that actually come with the game. There is a little set of 5 paperclip charms, and they're mostly, some of them are the same, but most of them are kind of different on each of the kits, but they're pretty similar. So 5 of those. You'll be able to see all of this stuff in the pictures that I post. I made this little envelope out of some cardstock, and it's kind of like a neat textured, you can see that, textured and glossy cardstock. And then I've just put some butterflies on the inside that have been made out of the same cardstock. So there's a little slew of those in there if you want to sprinkle those into your journal. And then I've also included, there's 2 little mini file folders that I made here, and these are both made out of cardstock as well. I made a fabric envelope, and this is what it looks like. This is like a more of a squat one, and it's really pretty fabric. They're all made out of the same fabric, I do believe. I made 3 library card pockets, and I used Gypsy Rose Papery's tutorial on how to do these, so I will link to that in the description box below. But there's 3 different styles. I did rounded corners, and then straight across, and then I did just all straight across, and then I did rounded and rounded. So there's 3 different kinds. I did some what I am calling S&S tags. They're stamped and stitched. So I've stitched on them, and I've distressed the edges of each of these in a different way, and all of the thread matches the distress ink that's used to go around the borders of these tags. So I used mustard seed on this one and yellow thread, so kind of goes on like that, blue and blue. And then for this one I used antique linen, so it's really faint because that's a really light distress ink, but those are the 5 tags. And then lastly, I've also made 5 large fabric tags. I left the backs of all of these blank because maybe, I don't know if you want to back these with something else, stick them down and make them tuck spots, or if you want to just use them as they are and maybe just distress the backs with a different color. So I've left that option kind of just open for you to decide on how you want to do it. But there's 5 of these total. Really pretty fabrics. And that is the kit. So again, that was initially made to coincide with the books. So they're meant to really be used together, but you can absolutely use them wherever you want. And you can use the journal however you want too. So it's up to you. So I think that's going to wrap it up for me. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. All of this stuff will be listed up in my Etsy shop, and I'm going to go ahead and go. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.